Oh boy, the Powerpuff Girls, a Cartoon Network classic that, as a youngster, I was always embarrassed to admit that I watched. But now that I'm older, hell yeah, the Powerpuff Girls were awesome. Before that 2016 reboot, of course. The show was about 3 adorable superpowered little girls who were made in a lab: Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. The show had everything a kid could ask for: fun characters, funny villains, action, adventure, superpowers, and this joke.
Yeah, he made us in his laboratory by accident. Don't worry, Professor. I was an accident too.
I mean, really now, what do you say to that? She's only a child. She doesn't know what that really means. She's not ready for the truth. The cartoon was a comic book brought to life, but with lots of anime influence as well, with the Dragon Ball Z style high-speed, snappy flying and fighting. The characters moving so fast that the background becomes a blur, the overly dramatic static facial reactions, and so much more. It also helps with the fact that the main characters are 3 adorable girls. Japan loves that stuff. And so do I. So why was there never a Powerpuff Girls anime? Is what I would have said before I knew of the existence of Powerpuff Girls Z.
You mess with those kids, you mess with us, the Powerpuff Girls!
Yeah, this is real. I'm so hyped. So yeah, Cartoon Network of Japan actually created a Powerpuff Girls anime. Powerpuff Girls Z, or PPGZ for short in other countries, is a, may I remind you, real thing that happened. Japan adapted the concept of the butt-kicking Powerpuff Girls in America and turned it into a Super Sailor Moon-esque anime. And you know what? I'm okay with this. On the other hand, I am not okay with that! Dude, am I going to jail? I just saw something I really shouldn't have seen. And this wasn't just a one-off special with a few episodes. No, Powerpuff Girls Z ran from July 1st, 2006 all the way to June 30th, 2007. Almost an entire year, producing 52 episodes. 52! And the icing on the cake is that every episode has been dubbed in English. So, what are we waiting for? Let's begin our Powerpuff Girls anime adventure. So the intro starts up, and it's the most anime thing I have ever seen. That's the only way I can really describe it. We see the Powerpuff Girls fighting in scenes that last less than a second, flashy colors, cute chibis, and the roll call. Now that's the English intro, and while it is pretty good, the Japanese intro is a little more... Oh, I'm feeling it! Where is that epic chorus in every anime intro? I know it's coming. There it is! Oh my.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
So the show takes place in
the city of Townsville.
Actually, in the anime, the city is dubbed New Townsville, while in the original Japanese release, the city was named Tokyo City. There's actually a nice handful of differences the anime made from the cartoon in order to freshen things up and not feel like a bland cut and paste copy, such as the origin story for the Powerpuff Girls themselves. The first episode sets things up nicely, so let's check it out. We're greeted with Professor Utonium and his son, Ken Kitsawa Utonium.
Morning, Dad. I brought some tea.
Thanks, Ken.
He's the professor's lab assistant as well as aspiring scientist. They also have a robotic dog, which instantly gets cute points.
All right, okay, there you go.
So if the professor already has a kid, where do the Powerpuff Girls come in? Considering the reason they exist is because he wanted to create the perfect little daughters. Well, don't worry, we'll get to that. So the mayor and Miss Bellum contact the professor to warn him that an ecological disaster is heading for New Townsville, a glacier that's shooting snow all over the world, and they should use their Science to fix it. Luckily, Ken has an answer to this. To blast the glacier with his ray gun, containing...
Well, it's no longer Chemical X, it's something new. Yes, Chemical Z!
Chemical Z confirmed.
Chemical Z. Oh, that makes sense. Will the professor allow such reckless behavior, though? Cut to the high school where we meet three very familiar-looking girls.
Hi there! Thank you! No, I'm fine!
Maybe after school we could get a soda?
Sorry guys, I'm busy!
Yup, the Powerpuff Girls, in this universe, are three everyday happy-go-lucky high school students, still keeping their trademarked personalities. This being the case, however, means that the girls have normal names for their everyday life, while Bubbles, Blossom, and Buttercup are their superhero aliases, similar to Bruce Wayne and Batman. In case you're interested, their names are Momoko, Miyako, and Karu. Yeah, no, we're sticking with Bubbles. So we cut back to the professor's lab, where Ken is growing very impatient, wanting to test out his Chemical Z on the glacier. But the professor won't let him because it's untested and dangerous and yada yada yada. Ken doesn't care and recklessly does it anyway. He shoots the glacier, but his ray gun malfunctions, acting up and shooting Chemical Z all over New Townsville. The girls see the rays heading for innocent children all across town, and being the valiant girls that they are, instinctively jump in to protect them, taking on the rays full force.
No. Please don't tell me I'm wearing a skirt!
However, the rays also hit a monkey and other creatures, having a negative effect on them, turning them into superpowered villains.
Smelly humans, say hello to Mojo.
Thus, setting up the superpowered world of New Townsville and setting up Powerpuff Girl Z. I really enjoy the liberties the anime took to stand out from the original series and somewhat give it its own identity. Since this is an anime, every episode needs to tell and continue a story. So here, it actually takes a couple of episodes for the girls to actually meet up, since they weren't friends from the beginning. Which actually makes a lot of sense. Their personalities are so different, it's not much of a surprise they weren't hanging around each other in school.
Look, I know you. You're the girl who's all obsessed with comic books and superheroes. I know you too, Bubbles.
It's especially fun seeing the tomboy Buttercup interact with the overly girly Bubbles and the boy-obsessed Blossom.
I could never be friends with these two. Just look at them. They'd always be talking about clothes and comics and... Oh, I have to wear a skirt! A stupid, ridiculous skirt! Oh, gross! That's totally uncool!
Then they need to adjust to working together, living a normal life as well as being superheroes. The anime does a great job of going into the Powerpuff Girls with more depth and expanding the lore. Every episode has two segments. It usually starts off with the girls living their normal teenage life, whether that be going to school,
Blossom, don't you remember? We have that big biology test today. No way!
watching TV, or swooning over boys. These segments are actually really enjoyable, and I'm not sure if it's just because I have a pre-existing love for the Powerpuff Girls, so seeing them do anything outside of fighting is really fun. But to be honest, the writing is really well done and humorous. It walks the line perfectly of attracting both female and male audiences.
Oh yeah, it's leftover bacon and eggs today. All right. Thanks, guys.
However, life is never easy when you're a Powerpuff Girl, because during any activities when they're just regular schoolgirls, they get a call that the town is in distress, and the second half of the show becomes a crime-fighting superhero anime. And similar to Sailor Moon and Power Rangers, this transition from high school student to superhero life is done by a flashy, over-the-top transformation sequence. Seriously, it's exactly like Power Rangers. They're in school taking a test, and then they get a call from the professor, "Oh no, the three of us need to mysteriously disappear," and, Well, you know what happens next. Everything else from here on out just needs to be seen to be believed. It's a really well done spin-off adaptation of the original Powerpuff Girls. Seeing all the heroes and enemies with their new anime recreation is a real treat. Mojo Jojo, arguably the series' most famous villain, looks epic and possibly even threatening. But still, not really. Powerpuff Girls Z has the same exact soul and feel of the original Powerpuff Girls, in the sense that the creators made a show involving 3 adorable superpowered girls, and made it appeal to both boys and girls of all ages. Sure, it's got that cute Japanese flair to it, but it also has really fun, butt-kicking action, and believe it or not, really sad emotional moments. I mean, come on, that's gotta be a standard for every anime, no matter how wacky or fun. They at least need to make you tear up once.
I'm afraid it's also the end for you, Poochie.
At least now I know what it's like to be a normal dog.
No, stop, I'm not ready. Powerpuff Girls Z is an amazing experience, and I recommend everyone who grew up watching the original Powerpuff Girls series on Cartoon Network, and yeah, even the new 2016 version, I guess, to check out Powerpuff Girls Z. It's the ultimate experience of sugar, spice, and everything nice.
Wait a second! I know what makes New Townsville special! You do? Sure! It's us, silly! The Powerpuff Girls Z! Good call, Bubbles! Maybe you should be the